Welcome to Health Oddity, the show that strips away the jargon and hype surrounding all things health and fitness to help you live a long, strong and energetic life. Lining up at the bar this week, here's Peter Lant and James St. Pierre.
Hello and welcome to the Health Oddity podcast, episode 304. And we are joined by a very special guest today who has something very much in common with our very own Peter Lant in terms of the amount of walking this guy does in an average week, I would imagine. But I have known Carl for, I think probably about 8 years or something now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I would think so. Yeah. So Carl is someone that I know from Chelmsford through Unique Results, who is someone who is a trainer at the gym, but he's just recently turned 60 and I'm going to say, he's shaking his head. I'm going to say is super fit. Because I'll just quickly, we've talked about it on the podcast a few times, Pete, the nuclear fit that I did the other week. And Carl literally was, because we all had the bright blue Unique Results t-shirts on as you do it. So you're running around this field, but you can see each other, like you stand out quite well. And Carl, I'm sure at one point actually somehow, lapped me going round that you got a 1K run and then you've got like an exercise and then a 1K run. And every time, we were kind of crossing paths on the course. Carl was getting further and further ahead, and he ended up. Well, it will tell us how quickly he did it in a bit. But so we really wanted to talk to Carl today because he's also good friends with, and I suppose you could say, training partners and competition partners with 3 times guest Mr. Steve Bush as well. So. This is going to be great just to have a catch up. So, Mr. Carl Easton, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
Brilliant. And if you are watching on YouTube, you will see Carl is a lean, tanned, handsome chap. Okay, right. So, so Carl,
I want to just put a little caveat in here because you said he does loads of walking, but he's just said before we started recording, Carl said he just stands there throwing a ball in the water for the dog.
Yeah, only when it's sunny.
We should say we're recording this in the middle of the kind of the heat wave that we're having at the end of May. In the UK, so we've had temperatures certainly in Chelmsford. I don't know if it's been the same as you, Pete, but we've been over 30 degrees here.
Oh yeah,
So we could talk about the logistics of dog walking in a bit in this heat as well. So Carl, just to begin with, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, really, and your background in sport, exercise. If you've always been into training and what modes and that kind of thing. Would just be really good to kick off that way, I think, if that's okay.
Okay, sure. So at school, obviously just did the usual sport stuff, but wasn't really that interested. And then I started work, and the fella that I was working with, this is back in Derbyshire, and he said, I'm really want to do, on his bucket list, he wanted to do like a half marathon. So he says, "You're going to do it with me?" I said, "Well, yeah, all right." I was 18 or 19, thinking it'd be easy. Started doing a little bit of training, and anyway, we did the half marathon. The good news was I actually beat him, which was fantastic because he was quite a seasoned runner. And then from that, one thing led to another, and my dad and stepmom were involved quite heavily in the local athletic club, and they said, "Well, why don't you come down?" So I started doing that, and then got involved with the running club, and then one thing led to another, and I sort of took it a little bit further to be able to. I became a coach for the kids, and just loved it. So I was carrying on the training, and I was doing sort of 10Ks and half marathons and marathons, and then done the London Marathon 3 or 4 times, I can't remember. And was doing, I think my first one was like 3:45, and then with the training it was kind of coming on, and then I got to a point where the training just became, although I was working, but became a part-time job, and I was like training twice a day. And then went to Amsterdam in October 2001, I think it was, and did 2:57 for their marathon, which was mind-blowing, considering that over in Amsterdam there are crowds when you finish and there's crowds at the start, but all the rest of it is quite lonely. Whereas, like, obviously the London Marathon is full on all the way around, so you kind of had to stay focused. But I did 2:57, which was amazing. And obviously we were in Amsterdam, so I know no drug testing or anything. I was all good. So yeah, and then in 1998 I moved to London, and because of work, the training side kind of got a little bit put on hold because of working. And then a few years later, I thought I'm going to sort of take this up again, and started doing a bit of running. And then my job situation changed, and I qualified level 2 gym instructor, and was working in a gym about half an hour away, and just sort of started training, doing bits, doing running, started playing tennis, and then met James, and we kind of we put some put classes together. So I've been doing that like for the last, I don't know, is that 8 years?
I reckon, because it was before COVID. It was before COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we was doing that, and then during the period, me and my wife Diana, we both did boxer size, qualified boxer size, qualified as spin, and so I teach spin at UR now, and boxing when James is away, and we're doing the Fit for Life thing, which is amazing, which is just a 6-week course for people. And it's fantastic. And I love it in the fact that people are coming to the gym, certainly with this Fit for Life thing, and who want to get back into training or whatever. And we've had amazing results, absolutely amazing results. And yeah, it's nice to see people's journey, I think. But from that, obviously using the gym and training, and then kind of a couple of years ago, Steve had mentioned about this HYROX event. So Steve had done a couple, and he said, "Why don't you give it a go?" And I thought, I run. It's not for me. I don't do the strength thing. And I said, "All right, let's give it a go." So we started training, and then I was supposed to do my first solo one January last year. But we went to Spain over Christmas, and I hurt my back, so I couldn't do it. We went to Manchester anyway, so we and Steve were supposed to be doing doubles, because that's what we train for. But luckily, we managed to get Steve in for the solo event, which was like really last minute. But I was so pleased that I went along so I could actually watch what was going on, and sort of caught the bug, really, to the point that we've done solos and we've done doubles. And then for our 60th sort of birthday treat, as James said, we're going to New York next Tuesday. We're doing HYROX solo on the Thursday morning, doing the Brooklyn Bridge Park run on the Saturday morning, and then HYROX doubles on the Sunday evening, and then we come back on the Tuesday.
I didn't know you were doing a park run in there as well.
Yeah, well, it's there, so we might as well have a go.
Wow, so. No, it's fantastic. And I know you mentioned that you were a runner and you didn't do the strength stuff, but if we can, I'll have to get off of you. You'll have to send me that photo of you flipping the tire.
Oh.
You know, the one where the muscles are popping, where you showed me. We'll use that as the cover.
All right,
because you showed me it and you said, "I can't believe this is me." You know, like it was one of these professional photographs taken at the Nuclear Fit, and you've been snapped just at the point where you were flipping this tire. Like you say, you can see your shoulders, you can see your arms. It's all you can see.
Amazing. I just think my head is self-imposed on somebody else's body, because that is not me. That just isn't me. But it's great. It was great.
Yeah.
But it just shows you that, you know, we are putting in the training. And James, you know how hard the Nuclear Fit is, and it's just that pushing yourself just that little bit further every time. So yeah, it's good. Really good.
Excellent. And I mean, in terms of, you know, you are, like you say, running is your kind of your base, if you like. That's your kind of your groundwork is running. So
Yeah,
a lot of these things, like the HYROX, like the Nuclear Fit, we'll talk about the Deadly Dozen a bit later because I know that's more strength in
yeah,
relation to running. But obviously, most of these things like HYROX, the way you really improve your time is by doing the running
is
really,
the running?
really,
Yeah,
really well in it. Because that makes up, I think, I can't remember the percentage, but in terms of the time the whole thing takes you, probably 80% of it is running, isn't it? You know,
yeah,
so yeah.
yeah.
So, how easily have you found it to transition over to these
Uh,
hybrid kind of races and things?
it's it's been it's been a challenge, you know, and so the first solo one, the first doubles I did was amazing and loved it. Did that with Steve, and then I did a solo, and and just sort of went along to try and enjoy it if that was possible. But I think the adrenaline on the day, I did the first 5 runs, I think it was, and got to the fifth, no, the sixth element station, and I was doing really well. And was like looking at my time, and yeah, okay. And then for some reason, so then we have to do the lunges. So you got a 20k sandbag on your back, doing lunges, 80 meters lunges, where the back knee's got to touch the floor. And I started, I think I did about 3 or 4, and then the inside of my thighs started screaming more than Diana, my wife, on the side at me. Oh my god! And then I carried on. I've finished that, and then I had to do the run. So, but mentally, it was really difficult. And then so you do the run, and then I came to the wall balls, and the wall balls is like obviously 100 wall balls, and all I remember is holding the ball, looking up at the target with a 0, and I'm like, I don't know, how I'm going to do this, and mentally, everything just went out the window. Everything that I'd kind of pre-trained for, everything went out the window, and it took me like 15 minutes to do these wall balls, which is just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And I was paying more attention to people who so I was being told, you know, squat lower, but I was paying more attention to the people that were opposite me, and I'm going, well, they're not doing it, and my head just went, absolutely just went. So over the last few months, I think, so I've been practicing the wall balls, obviously, but I think I've now conquered it. But obviously, we'll see what happens next week. But it's such a mental. So yes, I can run, and yes, you know, I've trained for the stations, but it's such a mental thing to kind of try and to stay focused. And then when we do doubles, when I do doubles with Steve, you know, we're kind of motivating each other each on the stations, and we put like a little plan together. Sometimes it goes to plan, and sometimes it doesn't. But you've still got to stay focused and still have that positive mentality, I think. But it's ridiculous. It's just a mental thing, but it's just got me.
It's great that, because your approach is similar to Steve's, like when we spoke to him. So you've obviously coached in the past. You did your level 2, you coached kids in athletics and all of that. So you've done it your whole life, basically. And Steve said that's what he does at work as well.
Yeah.
Right. That's in his job, coaching like people within a working environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that thing of, I'm not very good at wall ball, so I need to get better at that. Well, have a plan, but everything might not go to plan and all that. You already got that in your head.
Yeah.
And the thing you said about watching the other person doing it while you're doing it, you're like, well, if you focus on them, you're not going to do very well, are you? So it's like, focus on yourself. So I love all that. You've done all of this stuff your whole life, basically.
Yeah.
And this is where it all comes in.
Yeah.
I also don't understand why anyone goes in for events called the Deadly Dozen or like the Nuclear Fit. They're all got like death and destruction in them. There was one round here. There's a village called Conkwell at the top of one of the hills, and it was called the Conkwell Killer. Loads of people used to do it. And I'm like, why?
No, it is. It's just, well, actually, it's now becoming a little bit of a joke in the fact that and I don't know if Steve might have mentioned this, but I go to a chiropractor sort of every 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm telling him, and he said, you do all this crazy stuff, and he said, why do you do it? And I just joke it out of kind of, and I said, because I can. I am actually mobile and I can do it. And then I went back to the gym and I was selling them. And now it's become, we were talking about getting some T-shirts printed because I can, kind of thing. And that's the thing. And I'd like to think that we've got like a group of 5 or 6 people now that are doing the Deadly Dozen and the Nuclear Fit thing. And it has become a running joke. And they say, well, why did it? Because I can. You know, that's my age. God, I am an old man. At my age, where you sort of see so many people in the town, or you go to the theatre or whatever, and you think, wow, they're my age, and I'd like to think I am considerably fitter than them. But it's almost that mentality. Well, I've got to 50 now, and that's it. I'm not doing any more. I need to slow down. But I think I am actually at 60. I think I am probably the fittest I have ever been. I think, which is a bit bonkers. And
well, it's incredible. I was thinking, Carl, before we came on, I'm 48 this year, and Pete, you're 50 this year, aren't you?
I am.
I think so. You're kind of like 10 and 12 years older than us, but you always seem to have, and I'm sure you can't sort of fake it or act it all the time. So I've known you, like I say, for 8 years.
Yeah.
You seem to have a lot of energy. You just have got like a lot of energy, and so because I think it was before we started recording, but you also, as you're kind of like, you've got a dog walking business as well.
Yeah.
So, and this is why we said Pete obviously does loads of walking in Bath, and you do your dog walking. So you're out like walking like every day.
Yeah.
You're training, you're spinning multiple times a week, you're doing all these events. I mean, what does and I know that you like a beer as well, or a drink.
Yeah.
You're not one of these kind of puritanical kind of, zero alcohol and that. You enjoy life,
Yeah.
But what do you put down this abundance of energy that you've got? I mean, what is there anything that you do that you think really helps feed that energy?
I don't know. I mean, sort of my walking, I'm doing probably 20 to 25,000 steps a day. I don't know what it is. I have to say, if it's if I sit down, then that's the time when I just switch off, I think. But I don't know. I just think that there's always something to do, or I can always be doing something, and I just enjoy it. I just find, coming to the gym and I'm doing the dog walking, and it's just keeping me going. I think it's, and it's like when I've been back to Derbyshire and I've seen some of my friends, and they are just couch potatoes, and it's like I don't want to be like, I want to be doing this hopefully in 10 years time. I don't know, we'll see, but I just enjoy life, I think, really. Obviously, it drives my wife mad, saying, "Why don't we just slow down? Just slow down."
We just had that today because we took Sid for a walk, and I keep, let's go this way, and Sean's like, oh, right, and it's like, let's go. We end up doing like 7 or 8 miles, and it's like, you only wanted to do a lap or something. But what you said about switching off there, you said if you stop, you'll switch off or whatever. Yeah. But the way I see it, because when like having energy and stuff like that, people think like if you do too much, you use up all your energy, and it's like, well, it works in different ways, because if you do lots of things that you don't enjoy doing, you're going to use up more energy doing it. And someone asked me once, like, what do you do for rest? Because you're out walking all the time, and that I'm like, that is my rest.
Yeah.
And that's when I can switch off. I'm out with the dog. We're in a field. I don't have to worry where he goes because it's all enclosed or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a couple of roads, but they're miles away, and he never goes very far. So I can just switch off, and I can let my mind wander. Yeah. And that's like sitting on the sofa for me.
Yeah. It is. But it's like on my walking, I've probably most days got 5 dogs in my little group, and I've got one earpiece in, so I'm sort of listening to the radio, so there's a bit of music, and it is a job, obviously, but it's not really a job because I'm talking to the dogs and I'm sorting the world out in my head, and that's kind of how I kind of do that, and I'll sort of, whilst I'm walking, I can plan in my head what's going on for the rest of the week, and that is sort of like you just said, sort of my rest time. Yeah. Obviously, I need to look after the dogs, and they're my responsibility. But that's probably right. Yeah, I probably spend a lot of time thinking on that. It's like when I go running. Sometimes sort of people go running and they've got feel like the weight on their shoulders. But as they're running, whether it's for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, by the time they get back, they're a lot happier and they've sorted out a lot of stuff in their head. And that's probably what I do running and probably on the dog walking as well.
It's funny with this because I've been doing a lot of work on trying to explain, you can explain the benefits of walking, exercise, running, whatever, like you've just been doing.
Yeah.
But the actual benefits behind it, like, go beyond explanation. Like, it's absolutely nuts because, like, obviously it's physically good for you. It's mentally good for you. You're out in nature. Your heart gets worked, all of this, and it frees your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
That. But then when you go deeper to a cellular level and all this, I've seen lots of stuff come up from different doctors who are now following all of that.
Yeah.
And there's just so many like benefits for like things like your hippocampus and all of these things.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know because it doesn't matter because you don't need to explain why it works. You just go, and you've just done it perfectly there. You just go out and do it.
Yeah.
And you get all this energy and you feel better.
Yeah.
So,
that.
Because like it's one of those things someone will say, well, what are the top 5 benefits? You Google it. What are the top 5 benefits of going out and walking in nature or going out for a run or whatever? They're all the same. And it's like, but that's just scratching the surface,
Yeah.
It's like we've had before, haven't we? We had we had Nick Rainbird on, didn't we? Who was talking all about the benefits of being out just in nature and the kind of the chemicals that trees give off and the all that kind of stuff, just the actual benefits of being in nature. And then we also had Duncan, can't remember Duncan's surname, but who was from Let's Get Out.
Who's just been to Buckingham Palace.
Who's just been to Buckingham Palace, for all the work he does on like the he does all the work on the Duke of Edinburgh type stuff, but he gets kids and teaches them forestry skills and camping and all the outdoor kind of skills that a lot of kids don't have nowadays. And it is so true, isn't it? It's even, who was it we had on? Oh, when we had, I'm trying to remember all these names now. Kyle Hulsebus, who was on a few weeks ago and said just getting out, and people underestimate the benefits of just getting outside in the fresh air and nature for 15 minutes, So no, I mean, you said, and it's true, because I know when I'm really, really busy, I can keep going. But like you say, when you sit down and put your feet up, you can just kind of,
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, do you sleep really well as well?
I think it varies, to be fair. There's some nights where I do have a good night's sleep, but there's quite a few nights, for whatever reason, and I don't know why, where I might have a bit of a restless sleep. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm maybe thinking about what's going on the next day or something. I don't know. Don't know what it is. But my sleep pattern does vary. I don't know. Maybe I need to look into that. Maybe.
Yeah. No, I just wonder because you are so energetic, because I know, Pete, you do like 20,000 steps a day, don't you? Plus or whatever as well. And you sleep like a baby, don't you?
Apparently so, yeah. Last night there's been a couple of thunderstorms around here, and there was a thunderstorm last night at like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
Sean mentioned it this morning. She was like, "Oh, did you hear the thunder and the rain like lashing down?" And all? I was like, "Nope."
No.
And that's on one of the hottest nights of the year when I thought I had a rubbish night's sleep.
Oh, okay.
But apparently not.
No. And if you like I mentioned, Carl, you do, I say you like a beer. I don't want to sound like you're drinking all the time, but you socialise and you like you say, you enjoy life, and you enjoy socialising and things. But since you've been doing more of these kind of events that are kind of more demanding on you. Rather,
Yeah.
I know running is demanding. Obviously, certainly running a sub 3 hour marathon is
Yeah.
amazing. But these events that are requiring more strength and more intense kind of events, have you consciously kind of changed anything with like the way you eat and stuff like that? You
Yeah,
focus more
I
on
mean,
your food
I
and
am.
stuff.
Yeah, I am trying to. I think it's all changed. To be fair, I think I like a beer, but I don't. I'm not on it every night. Food wise, because Diana, my wife, she's been on like a working with a nutritionist, so that's she's done amazing. She's lost 11 kilograms. So our food, I do all the cooking. So yes, I'm sort of doing stuff for her, but obviously that's beneficial for me. It's very rare we have a takeaway, very rare. Whereas maybe a few years ago we might have had 2 or 3 takeaways during the week. So I think a lot has changed. But now I drink more water now. But I say we have a couple of beers. We don't go, nothing in excess. But it is just trying to find that balance. And that's sort of what we're doing, really. I think if with Diana doing what she's doing with the nutritionist, that's been a quite beneficial for me, because I've had to try and make food for her that is going to help her, and then that's sort of I have what she has. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Right. I've got 2 questions here now.
Okay.
So previously, when you weren't doing the stuff from the nutritionist and what have you, what was your energy like before? Because you've obviously clearly always been like fit and into doing stuff and everything, and then you said you kind of slowed down when you got working, but it sounds like you've looked after yourself that whole time, right?
I think so. I think that's been the case. I whether or not, and it's so when my first job, I worked in retail in a menswear shop back in Derbyshire, and just like that, just like that, and our by the owner was, when somebody comes in the door, you treat them you treat everybody the same, and I was always friendly and happy, and I think it's just come from that, from why I am like I am, and then obviously with the training. So I don't think when we were doing beers and takeaways or whatever, I think my persona was exactly the same. I don't think anything's changed. Maybe my insides are better now, maybe, but I don't think anything's changed since. I think, knowing James for 8 years, I think I'm probably the same person I was 8 years ago as I am now, I think.
Fair enough. No, that's cool. But I think what that means is, because like, I think people can say, well, I'll change my diet because I'm eating rubbish, and I'll change to eating something better. Yeah. But then they still don't necessarily feel great, but because they're not getting the sleep and they're not doing the exercise or whatever. Yeah. So lots of people try to focus on one thing. So that was that was the reason why I asked, because you were maybe not like, I don't know, I don't know what the word is, because you're not really rigid about it now by the sounds of it, but like it was just kind of that was one thing that you looked at, but you were already doing everything else by the sound.
Yeah.
But also, so with the nutritionist, what sort of stuff are you cooking? What like?
So sort of before this, we used to do. I love potatoes. Unfortunately, my downfall is a packet of crisps. I've got to have a packet of crisps now and again because it's my down. But we were cooking stuff with potatoes and pasta and everything. So we have those now and again, but now it is certainly a lot. We do a lot of veg now, and we do a lot of chicken and fish. And I think we kind of have rice some of the time, but our portion sizes have also changed. So whereas being from up north, my plate was always piled up. Exactly.
Absolutely. Have you seen the state of James's plates? So
over the period of time, portion sizes have become smaller, but then obviously one of our things was we were eating quite late of an evening. But now we try and eat a bit early, but obviously we if I've got classes to teach at 7 o'clock at night or whatever, then that comes into play. But we do try and eat a bit earlier, and most of the time we sort of try not to drink during the week. Now and again, if it's like tonight, is a bit warm, I might have a beer tonight, but we try not to drink. So Monday to Friday, try not to drink. But as to cook it, like I say, it's the portion sizes and not eating stodge really. I think Diana's done amazing in the fact that she's listened to her nutritionist, and she's doing, if she goes into London, we kind of do her a salad to take in. And we're doing sort of the yogurt and fruit for breakfast, and we've just changed stuff, and obviously it's worked. It's amazing.
It's interesting. Again, I asked that because it was just be interesting to hear what you said, because we talk about it all the time. It's meat, fish, and vegetables.
Yeah,
plenty of protein.
Yeah,
and all the other stuff in moderation. But don't demonize anything and don't leave anything out unless you're allergic to it or something like that. Pretty much anything is allowed, but some stuff a little bit less than others, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that was.
I was going to say, Carl, because all the events that you do now, like maybe so things like a HYROX, a Nuclear Fit, a Deadly Dozen, they're all a park run, they're all kind of around the hour or less mark, aren't they? That it takes you to do it. So whereas previously you might have been doing like half marathons might, like you say, your fastest marathon 257, but you're kind of going for like 3 hours. Everything now is kind of like around the hour mark, isn't it, or less? Because I think so. The Nuclear Fit that you did recently was what was your time? About 45 minutes or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we did our first one May last year. Something like 52 minutes. And then May this year, I knocked like 7.5 minutes off, which is just bonkers. It is. And then last year we did May, July, and September. And I was actually, I still beat the September one by 90 seconds. So that's over a 12-month period. And so the work that I've put in obviously has paid off.
And what's fantastic is all of these things, you've really taken that side of fitness up. Probably, like I say, you just turned 60, probably from 55 to 60, it's in the last 5 years, isn't it? So it shows how much progress, and you were already a fit, active, well-trained person. But it shows that how much progress you can make, in your late 50s, and I dare say you're even going to get faster at the HYROXs and stuff, over the next couple of years, you'll probably be knocking time off of that as well.
I hope so. So. But it's just, I know it's like, I know on your, when you post stuff on the UR Facebook, and it is that a bit of discipline and a bit of consistency, and finding that balance, not driving, I'm not an elite athlete, not driving yourself mad. Oh, I've got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, because you've got to have a life. So I think that's in some respects where me and probably Steve have found that thing where, yes, we're going to go, we can do this training, we can do that, but we can have a couple of beers after. So it's trying to enjoy it, I think, as well, is the main thing. We put, it's like last night we did Rock Fit, and we kind of worked through it, and it was hot, but everybody else was putting in the effort. And if I I'm standing there motivating, not shouting, motivating, and they're doing it, and they're absolutely, blowing by the end of it. But it was fantastic, and everybody put in the effort. It was brilliant. I think
what's great is like yourself, Steve, Malcolm, you're all like 60, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you've got like Matt Sales and Matt Wilson are both 50
Yeah.
plus, you
Yeah.
know. There's Helena's like in her 40s still.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, you know, 50s or 60s, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And it's so great to see. And the Deadly Dozen obviously is different again, like I mentioned, because that's like, is that 10 400-meter runs, isn't it?
So that was 12. So you do 12 a 400-meter run, and then you go on to a station. And that was even more strength orientated than we do for HYROX. And that I have to say was difficult. We did some of the training leading up to it, but whereas all the other boys are a lot stronger than I am, so I'm sort of watching them, and they're doing the push press with the 15-kilogram dumbbells, whatever they were. But for me, you know, it was really difficult. I could do the 400-meter run. I can do that all day. But when it came to the strength stuff, it was hard. It was really hard. But I finished, and you know, on that one we did solo, and then we did a relay at the end of it. So 4 of us did a relay, and we split the stations between them, and we actually came first on our relay. So we got flag for it and everything, which is now up in the gym at UR. And that's amazing. Absolutely amazing that we've completed this thing, you know, 4 people that have only been training for to do that kind of last 6 months maybe, and yet we've come first in our age category. So yeah, it's good, really good.
Excellent. So what is so the next big thing, obviously, like we said, is next week in New York.
Yes.
And hopefully, I'll message Chris Ryan. I think we had him on the podcast a few months ago, and I think Steve may have been in touch with him already.
Okay.
I'll ping him a message because he's obviously doing it. I'm not sure what day he's doing. I'm not sure if he's doing the Monday but he's based in New York or just outside New York anyway.
Yeah.
But he's a former elite kind of collegiate. What was he? His 1500-meter runner, I think he was. And he's a young whippersnapper. He's only about 40, 45, isn't he, or something?
Okay.
Yeah. But he's doing his first HYROX. So yeah, we'll message him, and hopefully you can meet up. But no, I mean, so that's the big one. I mean, but like you say, you're going for a whole week. So you're going to do 2 HYROXes and a park run in a week, but then you're going to enjoy like being in New York for the rest of the week.
So obviously we're going to do the touristy stuff as well. So we've putting together like a little itinerary, and then people are messaging us saying, "Oh, recommend this, recommend that." So by the time that we get over there, we should have obviously we know we're doing the HYROXes, but we should have quite a full itinerary to keep us busy, and obviously plenty of walking as well. So yeah, it's really because my wife, Steve, and his wife have all been before, so this is my first time. So I am so excited, can't wait.
You need to go to Bow Bridge, right? So 2 things with that. My brother got married there, and he's actually in New York from this, like at the same time, because him and his wife got married there, so they're going back.
Yeah,
it was like 11, 12 years ago or whatever.
Yeah,
but they got married on Bow Bridge, which is where Conor McLeod and Castigier meet when the gathering happens in Central Park in Highlander.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. And that's in Central Park.
Very good.
So you and Steve could reenact that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you'll have an amazing time. That's going to be.
Yeah. I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah. No, that's great. And what have you got planned for the rest of the year? I mean, you've obviously got. What are you doing? When are you doing? Because obviously we've had Laura Shanks on the podcast as well. Aren't you doing like a nuclear fit team doubles with her, like a mixed doubles or something?
Yeah. So I'm on holiday in July, so I'll miss nuclear fit in July, and then September, me and Laura are doing nuclear fit mixed doubles. So that's going to be quite interesting. And then if we can get a mixed doubles HYROX in, possibly. So there's a lot of us we're talking about going to Berlin, which I think is next year. So there should be quite a big group of us hopefully getting to that. And then I'm doing the Chelmsford. Oh no, I'm doing the Kids Inspired London to Brighton bike ride on September the 13th, I think that is. Doing the Chelmsford Marathon beginning of October.
So support you're doing the full marathon then, yeah?
Yeah. And then me and Matt Sales are doing HYROX doubles in Birmingham, which is November, I think. Oh no, end of October.
Yeah.
And then when the tickets come up for sale, we'll hopefully be doing HYROX London towards the end of the year. And then we'll sort of start planning stuff for next year as well.
Wow, that's incredible. So a full marathon. When did you say that was, the Chelmsford one? October?
So I think that's October the 3rd, I think.
So how are you going to go into, are you going to have a period? Because it sounds like you've got so much between now and the last 6 months of the year, if you like. You've got so many events. Are you going to have a specific dedicated marathon prep to take you up to that? Or
yes,
you are? Yeah.
So at the moment, Russ from UR is helping me on the training. So when we sort of get back from New York, then we'll start to concentrate on the marathon, and obviously we need to be doing more longer runs. I still need to, because I've kind of surprised myself in how much I enjoy the strength side. So I still need to keep that going anyway. But obviously that's going to help with the marathon side as well. So yeah, when we get back from New York, then it will be more orientated towards a marathon, but still doing stuff, that's going to help with Nuclear Fit and the HYROX as well.
So what's your kind of, how old were you when you ran your 257? Can you remember?
Wow. So that was 25 years ago.
Okay. So
oh my God.
So you would have been what, 35? Is that right? Yeah. 35. So what's your kind of do you have a goal for this marathon? I mean, obviously it's not going to be that fast, but
No.
but do you have something that in your mind that you would like to, in an ideal world, if you can train, what kind of ballpark are you looking at time-wise, do you think?
So when I was about 10, 15 years ago, in a previous job, when I worked in the fashion industry, and I used to play football with a load of fellas from there, and it was just vets. We were all of a certain age, and the fella that used to train us was a professional physio, and he was working at Colchester United and whatever. Anyway, we were chatting away, and he was going to do the marathon, the London Marathon, and we kind of said, and I said, "Oh, have you done it?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I did 2:57." He went, "Oh, right." He said, and he turned around to him and he says, "How is it so?" He said, "Are you still running?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "So you did 2:57?" He says, "You know what? You'll never do that again." I went, "Okay." And that, just the way that he pointed at me and said, "You'll never do that again." And I'm like, right. And it's just stuck with me. So it's absolutely
for the last 15 years.
For the last 15 years.
Maybe that's why you're not sleeping so well.
Yeah, maybe you're right. But oh my, and it's just embedded in there. So a couple of months ago, we did the Chelmsford half. I can't remember what I did, and I did something like 1:35 or whatever it was. So I was quite pleased with that. So if I can put the training in, if I can get anywhere close to, if I can do 3:15 to 3:30, I think that would be fantastic. If I can get anything under 3:15, that would just be fantastic. So we'll see. So yeah, I have 3:15 to 3:30. I'd be really happy with, but
under
you won't do it. You'll never do that again.
That's great.
So we'll see.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Oh, Carl, that's been really, really good talking to you. And it's just, it's just great. And I think that so many people know you, obviously, from around the gym and stuff like that. And like I said, we've had Steve on 3 times and Laura on. And I think that it's these kind of episodes that often really resonate with people, because you're a normal guy. You're not, like you said, you're not a professional athlete. You're not kind of like, you're not, a trainer in your 20s. You like I say, you just turned 60. And I mean, the fact that you're thinking about, potentially a sub 3:15 marathon, and all this other stuff that you do, is absolutely incredible, and it's really, really good. It's absolutely brilliant. So, well, best of luck for New York next week.
Thank you very much. That's very kind. Thank you.
And by the time this comes out, actually, you would have done it. So we'll have to let people know. We'll have to let people know how well you did and how you got on everything. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Carl. That's been
no worries.
Really, really good.
Thank you for asking. It's
brilliant. That's interesting, isn't it, Pete? Really good. Really, really good. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching and listening. Please do like, share, subscribe, leave a review if you're watching or listening on a platform that allows you to do so. If you don't already, give us a subscribe or a follow on YouTube. And if you can, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And we will be back next week with episode 305. Thank you very much, Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Peterland.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week. Until then, bye-bye.
You've been listening to Health Odyssey with Peter Lant and James St. Pierre. To get your regular fix of hype-free health, you can subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your favorite podcasts. You can find out more on today's and other topics at healthodyssey.com, or find us on Facebook or Instagram by searching for Health Odyssey.